Hello and welcome. Welcome, Fuji Mama. Nice
Hello.
to see you. I'm
Nice to
going
be back.
to, been a day. Certainly has, certainly has. Um,
Indeed.
okay. Let's see what that was. All right. So I'm going to put this down. I'll be able to see the chat and respond to the chat, but I just won't have my headphones on because now I have to decipher which one is which because now I have three. I had zero. Now I have three. Ah, crazy shit. Crazy, crazy. Get more sillier. I swear. I better not say that, huh? So, what you got in store for me today, girl? Give me some education.
Education. Well, I don't know where to start, really.
Okay.
Um, maybe, the same place. Okay, so I guess the first place to start is the
Hi,
same place
Fenner.
I started because I don't know of any other place to start.
Okay. Well, that sounds good because, yeah, I kind of just started when I was doing this. The weirdest thing, I just found a video and just started listening.
Well, yeah, that's not
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what
that's
else to do.
ah
Really.
well, um the place that I started was well, I've talked about it before. Okay.
Mhm.
My or the origin point. Um but the overall theme, I guess, of me finally having basically me finally having enough, and then me talking to my divine masculine, and then he asking me, well, okay, so what are you going to do now?
Hmm.
Okay, well, see, at the time, um, I didn't know where else to start except with myself, and I said, okay, that's it. I'll start here with this idea. Everything is my fault.
Mm.
Everything is my fault. Everything is my fault. Okay. The people that I attract, the people that I talk to, the situations that I get into, good and bad, the choices that I make, all of those are my fault, all of it. And he says, okay, well, what next? And I said, well, I could sit around and whine about how it's not my fault. I could whine about how I was born in a bad way. It's, my parents, but it does sound like South Park. What are you talking about?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's not. I promise. Um,
Hey, Darth.
hey Darth. All of it is my fault. Okay, regardless. Okay, it's also because it's my fault. It's also my responsibility. Okay. I have to be
Okay.
accountable for everything. All right. And he says, well, how are you going to do that? And I said, okay, there has to be something that I'm doing. There has to be something that I'm doing to allow this to happen to me. The decisions I make, the energy I attract, the people I talk to, the choices I make. If it's my fault, then there's something that I'm doing that isn't that is bad. It's a repeating behavior pattern because I'm allowing it to repeat. Now the thing is in I'm not beating myself up in this moment. There's
Right.
I'm not I'm it doesn't, this thing about whining and victimization and finger pointing and blaming, there's none of that going on. This is this I believe is the core of shadow work, is to get beyond the, well, it's not my fault kind of thing, and, well, if it wasn't for my parents, then I could have, and,
Right.
well, if my friend, had supported me. Okay, well, you got to get tough on yourself. You got to put on your big person panties, underpants, and you got to go, you know what? Fuck all y'all. I'm doing this myself. Basically, fuck all y'all. I'm going home.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
where, I
can.
mean, that's where it comes down
Okay.
to. It doesn't matter about blame. It doesn't matter about, you know, uh, I mean, even if you're sitting at home in your room in the closet in the dark, right? And you're crying and you're saying, okay, something's got to change. Something's got to change. Okay. If you say, okay, all this is my fault. Now, what am I going to do about it? Okay. And you say something negative. Well, I'm going to, and there are people who do this, and I'm not trying to be offensive here. Well, I'm
Right.
going to cut myself so I can feel better. Really?
Mm.
How about making a
I-
different choice?
Yeah,
How
I've
about
done
not doing that?
things to make me feel better because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling.
That's a band-aid. That's a band-aid. All that shit's a band-aid. All that shit's a band-aid. All that shit's a
Right.
band-aid, because when you're done cutting, you're going to feel the same fucking way. In 3 days,
Yes.
you're going to feel the same fucking way. Next month, the same way. The next year, the same way. Because you're repeating behavior patterns. Stop the behavior pattern. Stop the behavior pattern. Where are you going to stop it? You have to
Uh,
stop it by saying, I need to make better choices. Well, how do I make better choices if I don't know what my choices are? You have to go find better choices.
oh, okay. Okay.
Stepping
Okay.
out of your
Now I can
comfort zone.
relate to
Stepping
that.
out of your comfort zone.
Right. Because
Step out of
obviously the choices I've been making are not correct. Um,
Correct.
yeah. So that's when
Correct.
I started, but I didn't get an intro or anything. I just like I started listening to Trevor Isley. I think it was Trevor Isley at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started going off on the be me thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I understand. I get that. But I like started in the middle. I never had like a initiation or an initial, okay, this is what shadow work is. This is what the dark night of the soul is. This is what
Yeah.
I just all of a sudden started going through shit and going, whoa, what the freaky doodah is happening here?
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't have words. I didn't have words either. I didn't know what I was doing. And
Okay,
now I
okay,
can
so
look,
that's
see, now
normal
I can
then?
look back and I can put terminology on it, and I can identify, you know, ding this and ding that. But I can also say this: if you are early in your shadow work, if you are in a position where you have identified the fact that your life sucks ass, and
Mm,
you are repeating behavior patterns. For example, there's a lot of this happening. I'm dating the same person over and over again. It's just got a different face.
right,
I'm
yep.
seeing that I'm the same persons are coming in and out of my life. They have a different face and they have a different name, but they do the same shit to me over and over and over and over and over and over again and over and over and over. Don't you get fucking tired of those patterns? It's not their fault.
Yeah,
It's your fault.
it's
It's
my
your
fault
fault.
because I'm allowing it.
Correct. But how are you allowing it? What are you doing to allow it?
Mm,
What is that one thing that you're allowing to do? Well, that's the thing. Nobody's going to be able to tell you. And this is where people don't go, well, fuck shadow work. I ain't doing it, because it requires work, and it
really.
requires you to be in isolation. You do not,
Mm-hmm.
you should not be going out and looking for people to help you. This is where I fucked up right here. This set me back. This idea right here set me back years. I was looking for somebody to help me.
Okay.
It
Now
ain't gonna
that I
happen.
learned up front. That I learned real fast. That was one of the very first lessons. You're going to have to go through this alone, the whole caterpillar thing, and you're going to
Yeah,
feel like you're dying. People are going to leave you. You're going to feel like you're going insane. You're going to see
yeah,
things, and
yeah.
so that I was prepared for. Thank God, but the whole thing is like, where is it coming from in me to keep repeating shit that is not good? It's like I get rid of one
Right.
and
Right,
immediately
and
another one
that's where all
comes.
that reprogramming stuff comes in. You are going through that. You cannot go through the transformation until you face things that you don't want to face. Your abandonment issues. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel like shit. I don't want to think about that. Well, you know what? That's what shadow work is. Shadow work is feelings about the fact that you were abandoned. That's why it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was abandoned by this person and that person and that person and that person and that person. It doesn't matter. Don't lay the blame. It just happened. We're not pointing the finger and going, it's your fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. It doesn't
Right.
matter. The accountability is yours. The responsibility is yours. It doesn't matter if somebody else did it. It's your responsibility to fucking fix it and make it right,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Right.
Okay? That's the thing here. Okay? It hurts into this person hurt me. Oh shit, that person hurt me. Oh shit, that person hurt me too. Oh fuck. This pattern is getting repeated here and here and here and here and here and here. And then it goes from those motherfuckers hurt me to, oh my God, how could I hurt myself this way? How could I not see that? How could I not recognize that red flag? How could I not see that red flag? How could I
Mm-hmm.
not see this asshole coming from 10 miles away because 10 other assholes with the same fucking behavior pattern came up behind him first? And
Mm.
then this is you beating yourself up because you feel stupid and embarrassed and shamed because you allowed this. And you realize you allowed this because there's a light being shed on that. And you feel like garbage. You feel
Right.
like a worm because it is in that moment you realize, holy fuck, it is my fault.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, just before we went live and I got to talking to you, I was trying to do some stuff on the desktop. And when I eased my way out of the bed and I experienced such horrific pain, I'm like, why would I allow this on myself? Why would I put this kind of pain on myself?
Oh, well, you're also you're also programmed by society, you're programmed by ego, you're programmed by the devil to believe that, and this is really big with all Christian based people. If you started out your life as a Christian, you believed this. Suffering on behalf of others is a noble cause and will
Yes.
get you into heaven. And yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Because Jesus said, save yourself, bitch. And that's what
Yep. Yeah.
save yourself first. You cannot save somebody else. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
save somebody else. Jesus cannot save you, but Jesus will show you how to save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a
It's
lot of
like,
people don't want to hear that. People do not want to hear that. They want the easy way out. They want the quick way out. Well, Jesus will
mm-hmm.
save me from my sin. No, he won't. No, he won't. He will teach you how to save yourself from your sin, because your sin is the fact that you feel ashamed for something that you have done that you know is wrong. That is why Adam and Eve responded the way they did. God told them, don't eat from the tree. They ate from the tree. And then when God
Mm-hmm.
came down and they hid. What do they call that? The cat's conscious. Or they should
Okay.
call it the dog's conscious. You walk in the house, nothing, it seems like nothing's wrong, but the dog is ashamed and he runs away from you with his tail between his legs. You're like, wait a minute, what did you do? See, now you have to find out
Mm-hmm.
what the dog did. That you would have never known. You would have never known, or wouldn't have had a no you wouldn't have had a clue if the dog didn't behave the way that it did.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Until I,
But
if,
yes,
unless,
yes.
yeah.
So
until I found the mess. Yeah.
how can you stand in front of your maker? How can you stand in front of your maker and say, I'm prepared for heaven, when you know you're not? You
Mm.
know you're not. Can you look me in the eye and tell me that that you deserve to go into heaven?
Oh,
Oh
absolutely not.
shit.
Bullshit.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Yeah,
No.
you look up at God, and what you're doing is you're looking in the mirror. Can you tell yourself you deserve that with a full heart, with a clear heart?
Mm.
That's how
Mm.
you get into heaven. You can't get into heaven any way else. You have to clear out yourself first. And if we take into consideration heaven being metaphorical heaven,
Right.
you can have that here on earth. That's peace of mind. I don't have to worry about being ashamed. I don't have to worry about carrying guilt because I've already dealt with all that shit. And before I take anybody else's counsel, my counsel I keep myself. I keep my own counsel because that's who's important. If I know I'm doing an activity and it's sin free, I don't care who's telling me I'm full of sin because I know I'm not.
Hey, Jeffrey, actually, we're just discussing shadow work and the dark night of the soul. So, and I have Mama up here because she's much wise in this area. And I have just been willy-nillying it. And I really want to get down to business because I'm doing it wrong. Not that I'm doing it wrong. It's just that
There's
I
really no way of doing it wrong,
right,
okay?
right.
Because really it's a process of elimination. Some of the things that
Okay.
I say won't work for other people. However, there are universal truths that will work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seriously, going into isolation and keeping yourself away from social interactions, keeping away from people who are trying to tell you certain things. Those things may not be true for you. I gave you an example earlier today
Mm-hmm.
with my shadow man example.
Mm-hmm.
I fought for years against this. I thought I was being haunted by him. I
Wow.
could not fucking get rid of him. And he was constantly coming in, constantly coming in. How many times am I going to sage? How many times am I going to pray? How many times am I going to add? The thing is if this is a faith issue, a trust issue. If you have a shadow man that keeps coming into your life, that keeps coming into your space, and you have repeatedly asked God, divine source, the angels, or whatever it is that you follow to make this go away, and it keeps coming back, then the thing isn't negative. It's supposed to be there. It
Right.
really trips my triggers when paranormal investigators go into a place and they say, well, we've smudged this place. And then the next paranormal investigator comes in and there's that shadow person again. Did it ever fucking occur to you that God put them there for a fucking reason and you're being overridden by this? There's only so many fucking prayers you can make and only so many fucking smudges you can do before a person realizes, okay, well, God really wants that person here, which means it's not negative. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm getting really aggressive. Wow.
Oh, it's
As
okay.
you can see, I feel really I'm really adamant about this because what's happening here is there's a block happening because
Mm.
we believe what everybody else believes. But the thing is they believe something that somebody else told them. It's wrong.
Right. Right. You're absolutely right. And hey, gamers, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. You're absolutely right because when you said that to me, whoa, did so much stuff just go make me giggle. Like I said, Jesus makes me giggle. I know when I'm hearing from him because he does. He makes me giggle. He's like my little tee hee hee big brother. You know, like see, told you, na 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 boo boo. You know, like that's how
Right,
he talks to me. And
right.
so what's weird is when you said that to me. I mean, I couldn't even make it to the laundry today, girl. And I mean, I because you know what, I was supposed to be here laying in silence and listening.
Right. Well, the thing with that is it is a okay, if you are Christian, it is a biblical fact. Angels look monstrous.
Yeah.
Angels do not look pretty with the wings and the fairies and the bullshit. Angels look like monsters. Seraphims, archangels, they don't
Yep.
look, they look they look
Well,
like
every
monsters.
time,
They look like shadows. The beings of light that appear, those are very often, more often than not, those are the demons. Those are
yeah,
that's the negative entity. Lucifer himself is a being of light. He didn't
light.
lose that. He
Yeah.
took that down with him. It is
That even
light.
says he'll come
Okay.
as an angel of light. And it even says in the Bible, anytime a human interacted with a alien or a um uh an angel, what's the first
Hmm.
thing that comes out of the angel's mouth? Do not be afraid. Hell, you know what? I don't want little some little Cupid um having my back. I want a beast. You know, I want something that, yeah. And I
Yes,
firmly have always believed it because they wouldn't say, do not be afraid if they were not kind of friggin' beastly. You know,
they were. I mean, Metatron is described as a being with 1,000 eyes.
uh-huh.
It's a gibbering. If you play D&D, you know what a gibbering is. A gibbering is basically it's a mass of flesh, and all it is a bunch of mouths, and it
Oh,
gibbers.
wow.
Gibber, 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 gibber. It's nasty. It's an aber is it an aberration? Darth, help me out here, dude. You know what a gibbering is. But
Yeah.
well, I mean, also, if you want to get really technical about it, Metatron is a fucking centurion. He's a beholder. He is a
Mm.
lawful good beholder. Wrap your mind around that one, Darth Haster.
Uh,
Okay, because
yeah.
he's the only one. No, not tentacles, eyeballs. A
Yeah.
thousand eyes. Actually, Metatron might have 1,000 tentacles with the eyeballs attached to it, if it's 1,000 eyes beholder.
Mm.
That that's something to chomp on right there. Just putting that
Yeah.
out there. My divine masculine, when I saw him, well, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. I've been told not no.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, because I've seen angels in their true forms, and they are not human like. They have
Oh.
things like owl heads and talons and bat wings, and the thing with the light beings, Lucifer down there, he is a being of light, but he's also a being of enlightenment. You have to go through bad things in order to be enlightened to do good things. There is a balance here, okay?
Okay.
This whole thing about, the devil being ego and representing bad choices, not necessarily true. Sometimes you have to do bad thing, you have to not do not you have to go through bad things in order to see the good come out of them. We have to have
Mhm.
challenges. If it was just us running around like Garden of Eden, what would be the fucking point? We would be bored out of our minds. We'd be overfed and overpopulated. As I said in the last stream, oh yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Right.
Yeah. It's not an abomination if it serves the source, if it serves source, which it very well may be. It may very well serve source. Yes, you could lose your mind.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why.
if you saw an angel, you might lose your mind. That's in the
Um,
Bible too. Just putting that out there. And
Yep.
hell, it's not all this stuff about angels aren't all in the Bible. Some of them is in the Key of Solomon. Some of it's
Yep.
from some of it's from the these okay. It starts with a Z and it's a really weird name and it's a religion from Babylon. It's like Zostra or some shit like that. Okay.
Okay.
Roll insanity check.
You're so
Permanent
funny.
style.
Roll sanity check. Well, there ain't no sanity here. It's our own sanity. Yeah. But you're right. Ah, because that's what it says. And it wouldn't say
Right.
it if, yeah,
Well, you have
over
to.
and
Well,
over.
that no. Well,
Yeah.
that whole roll sanity check. That's totally an apt point because there are going to be times on your shadow work where you're
Ah,
going to experience something that seems so absurd,
yep.
okay, that it takes a while for that to kind of sink in. I know I had several things that happened along my journey in which um bad things the bad things were put into light. They were put into light. Things that were happening to me that were very bad had been put
Mm,
into light. And I was like, no, it can't be that. No, it can't be that. No person would do that to their child.
mm.
We live
Ugh,
in a and see that that's where, yeah, that's where the divine comes in. And it's actually the divine negative that says, excuse me, Fujiyama mama, you live on earth in the world with humans.
right.
Humans do horrible things to
Thanks.
themselves. They do horrible things to their children.
Mm-hmm.
What illusions do you tell yourself to get through so that you can stay sane? Is this an illusion that you've been telling yourself for your whole life to get you through?
Interesting.
Roll sanity check.
Hey, Bone. Thanks for coming by here. Um, yeah, it is. It is because I'll tell you the three times that I actually um saw uh, some stuff. One was back in Vegas, and I remember saying, "Okay, well, just show me a little. Don't freak me out." And as seriously, I'm like, I don't want to get freaked out or anything because I'm like, because I'm not even knowing if I'm believing this right now. Okay. And I saw an eye slowly opening. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, it was scary. Chris has had an experience too, to where he had an out of body experience. And when he was cruising through, the zone up there, uh, all of a sudden this really bad face came up and said, "That's far enough."
Hmm.
He explained the face, and I saw that face. And then there was, oh yay, there were the lights. Good. I got my back. I got my third goodie. So happy.
Yay.
Um, yay. But and so then the time here in my bedroom here, there were
Mm-hmm.
several of them around. I could hear them because I could hear. Okay, a not very good scene. I'm like, okay, well, you can manifest, but just a little bit at a time. Don't freak me the fuck out because you guys freak me the fuck out because they're in the forest, they're in this, they're there. And there was like a robot looking entity outside my window looking in with red eyes.
Hmm.
And it was like, that was
Interesting.
cool. But when I got to the end, like I want to see the end of the universe again. That eye started to open up, and I'm like, oh yeah, hell no, I'm good. The eye for some
Okay,
reason
well,
freaks me out, and I don't know if it's
I would definitely not recommend doing any kind of astral travel or any
oh
kind of
no,
out of
hell
body
no,
experience while you are in the process of shadow work
no,
because
no,
it's just not advisable. I mean,
right,
unless you have somebody with you. Like again, I can't get away from my divine masculine. He helped me through a lot of stuff. And at the time,
Right.
I didn't even know that I was ripping him away from his physical avatar here. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I had no idea that and that's the reason why I'm waiting now, is because he's still healing his physical avatar. I don't know who that is, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever is going on with that is I have to give him the time to reintegrate and heal. It wouldn't be fair for me to expect him to be ready to go, which that was a
Right.
mistake I did. But you know what? We're going to leave that for another show. All right,
Right.
because
Right.
there's something I want to talk about with that, but that's another show.
Yeah.
The point
But I
here
wanted
is
to
my divine
also
masculine
say,
was a mentor, and he was a guide, and he was a protector at the same time. Okay, so I did have divine guidance, I did have divine protection. However, after you come out of that, you do need an outside source telling you, no, you are not crazy. You are not insane. Everything that you experience is you experiencing it for a reason. There is an underlying lesson of over all of that. The visions, the dreams, the seeing, the shit, all of that. There's underlying meanings. It's very difficult for somebody to do shadow work and tell their friends this stuff, because their friends, generally speaking, 99.9% of the time, are not going to fucking understand what's going on.
no.
And you're going to get two responses. They're going to say, okay, all right, we understand that you're going through something and you need to talk. So we'll be here for you to talk. Then you're going to get the other one that's like, you know what, V, you're fucking insane and I can't handle it no
Right.
more. See
You
you
need a
later.
72-hour stay up there at the crazy house. Be put on
Yeah.
medication again. But let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Okay, and this just popped into my mind. Okay, so being a writer, being a creator, right? Sometimes I'm just going, you know what? Am I actually creating these beings? My feelings and my emotions when I was going through this really challenging time with the PTSD and trying to remember 8 through 13 and stuff. And I was like, it was a weird time. I'm like, am I actually manifesting those feelings into energies?
Yes. You are manifesting energies into numinous energies, and you are creating your own reality.
Right. So I'm
You are a
creating these.
co-creator. Everybody's a co-creator. Everybody's a
Right. So,
co-creator. I
like
don't
when
like
I'm
this
like,
whole idea about self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't like I
no,
don't
see,
I
I
don't
don't
like self
either. I don't know. I'm like half of me, like, when we were talking is like, well, I signed up for this, you know, um, and like, just some weird stuff, but like to actually manifest things, because I'm like, I can sit there and
you
stare into
should
the
not.
woods.
Okay, right now, let me tell you this. Let me start you right there. When you are in the pre-shadow work area, you should not be manifesting shit, because
I
you
shouldn't
need
be
to
writing
change your
either, I don't think.
vibration. You need to change your thinking. You need to change your behavior patterns in order to
Mhm.
manifest something better. That's the whole point of the shadow work. You
Okay.
do the
So
shadow work to change yourself so that you can manifest and attract something better.
better. So let me ask you this. So during shadow work, I don't even feel like I should write. I feel like I
No, you shouldn't.
create. Yeah.
I
Uh,
the only thing that I was right. Okay, there is. Okay.
you know what?
Give me a second. Let me that a minute, because there
Okay.
was a lot of things that I was writing about during my time that I didn't realize I was manifesting. It was my divine. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
But see, I was writing positive. If you're writing positive stuff, then I would say go
I
ahead and write. But if you're writing sad poetry, you're writing sad songs,
dark. Yeah.
stop that. Just stop that.
And
Just
I
stop
have.
that.
So I stopped. But then my other point is, so shadow work to me, this is how I'm understanding it. This is how it's like been happening is I'm going back and I'm gathering up all the hurt me's, you know, the 3-year-old me, the 8-year-old me, the 13-year-old me, the ones that have been through a lot of really bad, they call it, what do they call it? Chronic
No.
PTSD is what
Yes.
they're trying to say
Yeah.
that I have, because it's just not one incident. It's incident over, and
And that's where
several
they
of
get it
them.
wrong. And that's where they get it wrong. And
Okay,
I'm going to tell you this. Your emotional body doesn't give a shit how old you are. Pain is pain, is pain, is pain, is pain,
yeah,
is pain. Doesn't matter if it happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, 3 years from now. It doesn't matter. Pain is pain, is pain, is pain, is pain. Going through and rehashing all that bullshit is going to do nothing but boost the ego and boost the devil. That is pointless. Don't worry about
okay,
that.
okay.
What you
Because
need
what
to
I
address is the
found,
pain, not the cause.
right,
Don't
not the
take it to
cause,
court.
the pain.
Don't give it
So,
blame. Don't give it accountability. Pain is pain. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's just pain.
right. When I went back and I finally got back some years and stuff, everything was going good. Everything was going good. And one day I turned and there was my shadow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally on the wall. All right, girl, what's up? Something is up. And all of a sudden I remembered we forgot the 3-year-old. The very first initial trauma that happened to me when I was 3. So she's been
Yeah, but
running
what I'm
amok
telling you
for
is it
50.
does not matter. It doesn't matter.
That's
Your
my
your your
that's what I'm
emotional body,
asking.
yeah, none of that matters. It doesn't matter how old you were. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what happened. It's just pain. There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. The pain is what matters, not the reason behind it, not how old you were, not who caused it. Because remember, we're
Okay.
taking accountability for it. We're taking about
Right.
accountability for the pain. It doesn't matter who caused it. It doesn't matter what age we were. We're taking that accountability on us. It's our fault. That pain is ours. That pain
Yes.
doesn't belong to anybody else except me. That's mine. And you motherfuckers can't have it. You have no power over me. My pain is mine. My joy is mine. My shame
Right.
is mine. My
Right.
happiness is mine. My sadness is mine. My tears are mine. They don't belong to you. They belong to me.
So,
I
but
own it.
so am I correct? I'm trying to understand. To me, shadow work is going back and collecting all my pain.
It's collecting the pain. It's not giving accountability for it. It doesn't matter when or how or who,
Right.
just the pain. And that's basically where your ego gets into that's and believe me when I say that this is exactly where the ego steps in and tries to take over to try to take it to court. Yes, you want to say, okay, I did experience pain at this time in my life, but the
Mhm.
reasoning behind that doesn't matter. Just take
No,
it.
just take it
Just take it.
and
Yeah,
do my accountability, because I've been taking accountability for my
right.
part that I
Right.
played in whatever, in the whatevers, okay, in the
No, no,
pain.
there is no parts. There's no parts of being played. There's no blame. Don't give it a playback. Don't give it a
Okay.
playback loop. Don't give
Well,
it a name. Don't give it a
for
time
better
period. Don't give it nothing.
trying to,
It's just that's my pain and I'm bringing it here
all
and
right,
it's
but then,
mine.
okay, well, I don't want this pain anymore. I'd like
Well,
to
the
have it.
thing with that is, and this is part of the healing of the emotional body, and this is a reason why shadow work is painful. This is why it hurts, not just in body, but also your heart and in your head. The only way to heal that is to experience it.
Okay.
You have to allow that pain to flush out. And the only way to
Mhm.
do that is to feel it, cry about it, grieve.
Mhm.
A good, solid chunk of shadow work is going to be grieving. It's going to be grief.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter about what or who or when or where or why or how. It's still pain. All of that is still painful. And there's a process that goes through. And the only way that this is, and their reasoning for this is so that you can purge all of this out. And the whole idea, the whole point of this is death. You won't need to experience death, not a physical real death. This is a ego death, a death of identity, a death of value, a death of purpose, a death of what you have been assigned, what has been assigned to you by other people, what you have assigned yourself. So what others have projected on you, what you have projected onto yourself. Do you see where this is going?
Yes. Yeah.
That all needs to die. All those values that everybody said, well, you need to believe this, you need to do that, you need to do that. No, I don't. All that needs to die. Okay? So you need to experience a metaphorical ego death, a death of identity, value, purpose, and belonging, a death of a spiritual death, an ego death, an emotional body, your emotions, there are emotions that need to die. But obviously, I should be very clear about this because there are stupid people on the internet. It doesn't actually mean real physical death. This is not about real physical death. Okay. But in that, what happens is that everything that you've built inside you, your core belief systems, your core structure, your core order, all dies. Okay? And basically what that is translating into is your inner devil, your inner demon, your inner shadow dies. Because your inner demon, your inner shadow is about social structure, order. It's Capricorn. It's the devil card in the tarot. It has to do with building, order, law, structure. It has to be this way. It has to be done this way. It's got to be done in this time. No, that needs to die. And when you get to that point, you feel there's freedom, there's peace of mind, there's no more shame or guilt, and there's tons of forgiveness because you're not just giving it to you, you're giving it to other people. You can see other people from a different point of view and go, you know what? I'm not going to be angry at you, Mr. Rude person, because I understand that you're going through something and you're just not awake. You're not tapped. And so now you have more compassion for people on the outside. You have more forgiveness from people on the outside. You have more grace for people on the outside because you understand the shit that they've been through because you've walked in those shoes and now you're wearing a different pair of shoes, but your shoes are better. But theirs, despite what you try to tell them, usually they're going to ignore you until they're ready. Because that's what it is. None of this can occur until somebody is ready. You could talk to somebody until they're blue in the face. You can preach at them. You can preach them all day and all night long about blasphemy and the sulfur and all the hell, the damn fire. But you know what? They're not going to change their negative behaviors until they decide, well, golly gee, maybe I should take accountability, responsibility for my shit and do something about it.
Right. And Bo makes a good point too, because I was going to bring this up. When is enough? And really, what if it doesn't end?
Well, you got to have faith and you got to have trust in your inner divinity and the higher divinity. Now, that is to not say that pain is not suffering. When you have pain and you have suffering, pain is worse. Is it not?
Yes.
But if you go through pain, but you do not suffer, pain is just pain. And I can definitely tell you from my perspective that without suffering, my pain is easier to manage. So you are not alleviating or curing physical symptoms, physical things that there's no cure for. Okay, if the doctor says, hey, there's no cure for this cancer, There's probably no cure for that cancer right now. But the suffering that all your other parts of you are going through is going to make the pain of that worse. But if you're good in your head, it's easier to manage. I would definitely tap. Well,
you just made a really good point. If you're good in your head,
my perfect example is Adega. Everybody who knows Adega knows that he's terminally ill, and he does experience pain. He said so. It's hard for him to type somehow. He's got problems with his eyes. But Adega is not suffering. He is only in pain. He is not suffering. And because he's not suffering, he is able to help other people. He's able to heal people even though he himself is terminally ill.
Yeah.
He's an amazing dude.
Yes,
he's an amazing dude. And that's all I have to say about that. I know him well enough to say that this is true. Yes, he is in pain. Yes, he is terminally ill. He is not suffering. That's how he's able to manage healing other people. And I think he'll do that right up until the very end. He'll be helping people.
Oh, I believe
because that's
too.
what he was sent here to do. And there ain't nothing that's going to stop him from doing it, which, you have to admit, pretty fucking badass, if you ask me.
Yeah,
That's my perfect example, is Adega.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that is so true, because I never hear him ever, complain, really. There's been a few times that you can tell he wasn't feeling good, and had to leave a stream early or something, but he's not projecting. He's not
projecting that. Exactly. He's a human person. I'm sure that in his private life, okay, he is going to have moments where he's like, this fucking sucks ass, and he's angry. Right. There's going to be times where he's sad. I can't believe this is happening to me. But he's not projecting that onto other people. He's taking that to himself. He's managing through that. He's allowing that to happen. And so when you see him, when we see him, when the public sees him, he appears to be stable. Because that's what a human is supposed to do. They're supposed to deal with it. And he's not dealing with it on his own either. He's got family and he's got supporters that he can go talk to about this other stuff. So us, the acquaintances that don't know any of his private stuff, we don't need to see that. Because part of Adega's light working here now is him being an example. He cannot be an example to the people he needs to be an example to if we are listening to the times where he's bitching, because we at a lower level are only going to concentrate on what he says negative, not on what he says positive. So if he pulls out only positive and we see only positive, that helps us. That's how he heals. Is this making sense?
Yeah. What do y'all think in chat? But yeah,
is a light work.
Yeah, no, it is. It does make sense, because I've been listening to that too, about what you project and out there and stuff, and even if you're saying I'm not going to be mad, right? You're still throwing out that madness, and somebody said it's like a genie, your wish is my command. Oh, why? Your wish is my command, good or bad. So I've been trying to not throw that out there. So if somebody asks me how I am,
that's another reason why I say that when you're going through deep shadow work, it is very important to be isolated, because regardless of your intention, the person going through shadow work is going to project. I made that mistake last year. I did. I really did. I I thought I was ready for social. I didn't know that I was going to get activated again. Okay,
Mm.
I thought that I was in a stable place. I thought that I was ready for social interaction. I thought that I had dealt with all of my stuff and that I was ready to take the next step. Okay, now the next step that I thought I was taking was not the next step that I needed. And so I basically got kicked out of the nest, and I was put into a situation where I didn't realize how much I was projecting on other people. And also, I did not understand that there were underlying things going on where people were projecting on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this causes a feedback loop of massive proportions, which is the reason why Kathia Starr lost her fucking mind and ended up getting kicked out of Valhalla because she got stupid. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if other people had a hand in it. It did not matter. It's about taking accountability. That shit belongs to me, nobody else. It's mine.
Right.
I am dealing with it. But I've also discovered that I cannot go back. I can't, especially if I'm not ready. I don't know if I will ever be ready for that. Just being social. I don't know.
I know, and that's so weird too because I've always been a social little butterfly, and now I'm like so content just to be still. It's weird. I'm
It's a little
content. I'm
boring.
good when I'm,
Yeah.
and I used to be all over the place. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
I'm at the point of my stillness where I'm fucking bored because I'm literally waiting to get activated. I don't know what my life is going to be after this because um there's healing that must be done in the physical realm, and I can't do it. I have to have my divine masculine. I have him activate me. So he's either going to activate me negatively or he's going to activate me positively. I don't know. This is literally a choice that he has to make. Now, my response to his choice of negative or positive will still be on me. My choice, how I respond,
right.
will be my responsibility and my accountability. I have to be prepared, which is, I'm fairly certain I'm pretty prepared. I mean, there's only so much preparation you can do. It's like becoming a parent. There's only so much prep you can do.
Right.
You know, some people don't do any prep. Some people do over prep. But the fact of the matter is you're never going to know until it happens.
Yeah.
Until I get communication, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hmm.
But I will say this, my response will be balanced, fair, and appropriate because that's where I'm at.
Right.
If he decides he's going to tell me, if he comes in and he activates me and he uses me and tells me to fuck off and never wants to hear from me again, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'll be disappointed, but I'm going to move on with my life. At least I'll
Mm-hmm.
have closure. If it's positive and he says, you know what, I want to give this a shot. This sounds interesting. There's something here. Let's see what happens. Let's jump off. Let's try it. There's no commitment there. We're just trying it. Well,
Right.
then I will respond in kind with, okay, well, I'm going to put in this much effort at this boundary and this much effort at this boundary. And that's because I've been hurt. He's been hurt. And jumping in quickly, I don't know. There's a couple of ways it could happen. I've been told one way several times, and now it's just I don't know. It's just fucking dice in the wind. It's a penny in the air. I don't even know. My story has been put on pause. And there's only so long somebody can be put on pause before divine intervention steps in and goes, okay, that's it. We're tired of waiting. And let's just say, for example, well, you know what? Dipshit sat on his ass. We're going to activate you. Divine source is going to activate you. You don't need him. We're going to move on. Okay, well, that's an option.
So
That's an
can
option
you
too.
explain what you mean by activate?
Oh, okay. All right. Generally speaking, you've got three different types of you've got let's keep it simple. Two different types of activations. Okay. You got soulmate activations and you've got karmic entanglement activations. And if you get really technical about it, they're all soulmate activations. Okay. Being activated, you can be activated in several different ways, and it depends upon what area of life you're talking about. For example, if you're talking about your love life, I'll just give you an example from my point of view. I think it's the biggest activation I've ever had in my whole life, and it just knocked me back to go. Do not pass go, to not collect $200. Yeah. My twin flame activation. Everything is fine, everything's hunky-dory. Tra-la-la, you think your life is stable, you think everything is good, and then you're exposed to your twin flame. And what happens is it's like everything or anything that is most important that maybe you haven't looked at. Maybe you've missed a spot. Okay. Your twin flame comes in and goes, oh, hey, you missed a spot. And then you just kind of have a breakdown because you didn't see that spot, and you should have, because it's right fucking there in the middle of the floor. I mean, it's the dog shit on the doormat. How do you keep stepping over that every day? I don't know. I have no fucking idea how. And even then you may have, your twin flames like, look, this is the spot, and he's pointing at it, and you're going, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I don't see it. And then the next thing you know, divine source comes along and just shoves your nose in it, and you weren't expecting that. And you're like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, now do you see it? Yeah, now I see it, but now it's all over my fucking face. Thanks a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, that just resonated something in me about opening the eyes of the blind. Yeah, we're blind. Yeah. We're not seeing right. This stuff, it's right there.
Yeah. My activation came with the fact that I had not fully resoluted or found resolution for several instances in my life in which I experienced very sudden group abandonment. I wasn't abandoned just by one or two people. We're talking about dozens of people in specific groups who were just like, you know what? No, bye. And damn, this door was slammed in my face. Only later, see, here's where it comes back at. Later on, the door gets opened and there's people standing behind that going, yeah, Kathia, we understand what you were saying now, and we really want to say sorry and apologize because, yeah, you were right. And it took a while, but the people who were really responsible for spreading the rumors and the lies and things that we believed. Yeah, they made themselves out to be jackasses, and yeah, we found out. So we also found out that they were lying about you, and that the rumors weren't true. So yeah, you can come back if you want. And at that point, it's like, dudes, I knew you. This did happen. I knew you for 7 years. I've known you for 7 years. You knew me for 7 years, not like acquaintances. Like we saw each other every single day for 7 years. Okay. Then some dumb shit comes along. Some dumb shit comes along that I'm dating. I date her for 3 months, right? And then she tells all y'all that I'm beating her. Y'all know I'm not beating her. Y'all take her side and y'all cast me out all at once. And I'm not supposed to be like upset about that. Y'all know I don't do shit like that. And you took the word over this person whom you've only known for 3 months with no indications of bruises. There's nothing going on with her. And you took her word over mine. And now you're coming back and saying you're sorry. Okay, you know what? This is how it's going to go down. I forgive you for being dumb shits. I really do. But if you fucking think I'm hanging out with you again, you are fucking insane. Roll sanity check, motherfucker. That did happen. That did happen. That happened in another group too. I did not I did not do the quiet thing when I got raped. I told every motherfucker on the planet. Well, the problem with that is that there's a lot of women out there who do that to try to get into the victimization shit. That's the problem. You got women who are lying and the women who are telling the truth. I was telling the truth. This motherfucker raped me. Oh, yeah, well, you know what? We don't believe you. Door slam. 5 years later, there's these women coming out saying, you know what? Yeah, something happened. So now there's this comeback with, yeah, well, we believe you. Well, then why didn't you fucking say so at the time you needed to say so? What the fuck is wrong with you staying silent like that? You made me look bad. I lost dozens and dozens of friends, or at least does people I thought were friends. And there were other people that are like coming to me with direct messages, direct emails. We believe you, but we can't say anything because this person holds rank. So fucking say something. No, we can't. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what? I forgive you all for being dipshits, but I'm done with all y'all, and I'm not coming back to your group. I don't care if you open up the door for me, which it did. It opened back up again. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, he's a dipshit. We found out he got arrogant and then he got caught. So now we know you're not lying. You can come back if you want. No, motherfuckers, fuck you. You waited too long. You waited too long for the justice. You don't need me. So if you cannot recognize my value, if you cannot see the kind of person that I am, that I wouldn't just throw something out like that, then y'all need to go home. I'm staying right here. Bye.
Right.
And that's called empowerment. And that's where shadow work gets you. You are not crazy. You are not you are not where was it? Because there's so much about, it's not just women anymore. That gender shit's gone. Dudes feel this too. You know, there's this thing with girls. They're supposed to be quiet, and they're supposed to, the whole traditional feminine thing. That's bullshit, man. That's last century. And then dudes, we're supposed to be macho, and we're supposed to be, the bacon, the breadwinners, and we don't feel feelings. Man, that's all horseshit. That's gone, man. That's all toxic now. Let it go. You can still be masculine and have feelings. What the fuck's wrong with you? Do some shadow work. Maybe we would have less assholes with bowls on the back of their fucking trucks. Okay, yeah, that's a personal thing, but yeah. We can hear you. I'm just being loud.
Oh, no, because I have a new
set of headphones, so I didn't know if they were working or not.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay. Just because I'm like,
Well,
I don't see my little bubble. Usually I get see the little bubble, like, bubbling. So
right.
yeah. So
Well,
yesterday I had none.
it's
Today I have three.
6:55, and it's 6:55, and it there should be a wrap up, because I only want to do an hour. The
Okay.
point of all of this, the point of this whole thing, the overarching theme of this stream was accountability and responsibility. Even if you know it wasn't your fault, there is nothing wrong with taking that on. There's nothing wrong with taking that responsibility and that accountability on and saying, okay, I'm responsible for that. It's my fault for that. Now, what the fuck am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Don't worry about that right now. Just be accountable. That's mine. That pain is mine. That shame is mine. That mistake I did in 5th grade, that's mine too. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the time that I stole $5 out of my mom's purse, and then she beat the hell out of me for it. You know what? That's my fault. That's not her fault. Yeah, maybe she did go overboard. Maybe she shouldn't have beat the hell out of me. Maybe she should have just grounded me or put me in a corner, or there's millions of other things, millions of other ways she could have punished me, but she decided to beat me until I couldn't move. Well,
Mm.
you know what? That's okay. I'm going to take that too. That's mine. That's mine. And what it does is that takes power away from the other person. It takes power away from that other person and gives it back to who? You. And that's where it needs to be,
Mm.
because shadow work is about empowerment. Without that empowerment, you cannot have the strength, the courage, the fortitude, and the conviction to move forward to the next step. You need your power. Call back your power. Take
Mm.
accountability. Take responsibility. It's my fault. Now it's mine. Now I have the power, not you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because today when I was trying to go out to the truck to do laundry, and just like the pain is just like retarded, and I'm just like, what the flippity do that? And so I'm sitting there going, body, you do not control me, I control you. And the more I said that, the more pain came, and the more pain came, and I'm just like, all right, so I must be onto something, because if I'm taking back control, some they're fighting for it. Wouldn't you assume that too? That they don't want to give you back your power, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your ego doesn't want you in power of yourself, because your ego loses control about that.
Mm.
Your ego is there. Your ego is there to protect you, but there are things that your ego does to you that you don't realize that it's doing until later on. And one of those things is your ego wants to be in control. Your ego wants to be in power. And if your ego can very easily distract you by saying, oh, well, it's not your fault, it's their fault, they have to fix it, it's their responsibility to fix it, it's their responsibility to fix it. See, it takes
Right.
you out of control. It takes you out of control. I can't control somebody else. I can't control somebody else. And so this is how people get control issues in the first place, is because they
Mm.
themselves feel helpless, and so they must be in control of other people in order to feel in control of themselves, because it's your fault, it's your fault, and if I can control
Mm.
you, then I can control me.
Interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
we're not in
sister
control
my
of
sister
what other
Sarah.
people do or say. We're only in control of how we react to that.
Correct. Correct. I'm going to give you an example. My sister Sarah has serious bad control issues, and that's because she feels helpless in her situation. She doesn't know how to fix it. Okay. And
Um,
and it's romantic. It's basically it's a romantic problem. She feels devalued. Okay. And she does. She has a control issue, and for whatever reason, she needed to control how I well, she needed to control my social, number one.
Mhm.
She needed to control how I felt about her and her relationship with her family. She needed to convince me that she had a worse childhood than me so that she could feel better about her situation. And I don't have a clue as to why that is, because we both had suck ass childhoods, equally suck ass, but very, very different. I wouldn't say that one was better or worse than the other. I would
Mhm.
say magnificently different. But I had to, she wanted me to approve her relationships. She wanted me to support her twin flame a week problem. I couldn't quite, I didn't understand that. She's got a twin flame, but I don't, or yeah, I don't know. But all of that compiled into the fact that she needed to control so much in her life, and it was exhausting her. And I told her, I said, this is not good. You have a control issue that's getting out of control. It's just out of proportion. And that's when she unbuckled her seatbelt and turned around and began to attack me in the moving vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she attacked me.
Ooh.
Yeah, she pulled a lot out of my. Now she did that on purpose because previously she had heard me talking to somebody else about how I had been working on improving my hair because of all my surgeries and whatnot. My hair had gone had has it's not the way that it used to be. Okay, and it had taken me years to get my hair back. Well, that's what she did. That's how she attacked me. She tried to
She
pull the
finished
hair
the
out of my
hair.
head. Yeah,
Wow. That's
I
vicious.
lost 50% of my hair because of her. But I was not going to let her drag me out of that fucking truck.
Wow.
I sacrificed my hair because I wasn't going to give her what she wanted. And what she wanted was she wanted to manhandle me and drag me out of the truck, and I wasn't going to let her do it. I crawled out on my own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I also wasn't going to let her control me. She's not the one in power. And that's what she wanted. She wanted to be in control and she wanted to be in power to make herself feel better. And that's what your ego does too. Okay. It
mhm.
is empowered by putting the blame on somebody else and expecting them to fix it. And then when they don't, you try to step in to control them and their life so that they think that they're fixing themselves. They think that they're fixing themselves, and that's not what's happening.
Mm. You make some really good, valid points. Definitely.
Well, it's all shadow work. It's a big spaghetti. It's a very looping spaghetti. There's its roots. That's all I can call. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is such a great metaphor using the roots of the tree because
Yeah.
they all wrap up into each other. And the further down you go, the more wrapped up they are. So everything loops up on itself. But
Mhm.
the overarching theme of this particular stream is regardless of reality, it is important to take back your power by taking on the accountability and the responsibility and assigning yourself as the reason why all this is occurring. All of it. From the moment that you were born to this instant right now. It's all your fault. And take
Mhm.
back that power. take it back.
Wow. Yep. Well done.
In the next spring, we'll talk about what to do with it.
Okay.
Now that you are
Yes.
empowered, what the fuck do you do?
Right.
Yep.
Again, thanks for coming on and doing this with me. I think it's really important for especially for a lot of us that are, really trying to work on ourselves and better ourselves and do take accountability, no matter, like you said, how many years later or whatever, to get this information correctly, because there's so much out there and you could be so confused by it. That's why I would love to just continue to do these on a weekly basis, whatever, subject that we need to discuss that, people
Well,
are going through.
let's do next Wednesday at
Okay.
5:55
Your
p.m.
time,
Central Time. Yeah.
yeah. So it'll be 3:33 Mountain Time on the. Okay, so I got the desktop is Mountain Time. I don't know what laptop time that is. I think that's on your time, and then my phone's on my time. So when I went onto the PC, I'm like, why is it 3:33 in the afternoon? Oh, it's Mountain Time because it's Chris's computer from Colorado, so it still has Mountain Time on it. So we're getting it straight. It's 5:55. Well, actually, it's 6:55 Eastern Standard Time because that's how it's
Correct.
going to show. But it's going to be 5:55 your time.
Correct.
Correct. All right. Like to thank Bone and Finware Fire. No, Finware is the Icebox now. And Yen, hello, and thanks for stopping by. Darth Hazard. Yeah, we'll be seeing Darth Hazard tomorrow. Get ready. I think they're gonna lock the doors and hide. I would if I knew I was coming. So this should be really fun. For Thursday and Friday. Jeff C, it's always a pleasure.
Yep.
Bone, yes, I just want to make sure that I mentioned everybody here. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, let's roll sanity check.
Yep. +5, y'all.
+5. Good night. Much love.
Good night.
Bye bye now.
Bye.